Hello, welcome to another video, and today this is going to be my first build interaction-y showcase thing for Tiny Tina Wonderlands, and this one is lots and lots of fun. So this is a Spore Warden setup, mainly focused around infinitely spamming Barrage and doing damage with Barrage. This build's strengths are, for me currently, mainly mobbing and multiplayer. However, you can fix my personal bossing problems quite easily. I just need to collect the final few pieces. So, jumping in, how does it work? Well, from the little intro there, we can see we are spamming Barrage a lot. So how do we do that? Well, we use Enchanted Spore Warden. Whenever you reload, gain a charge of Barrage, paired with a one-shot black powder pistol, which has a 0.9 second reload and a 1 magazine. Now, to get the best results in terms of general gameplay, we want the ×5 version, the Masher version, because that's very, very good. So basically just feed Pistol Bunny until you get one of these, and just pick them all up and enchant them all, because it's going to take a while to get this enchant. Trust me. These Enchanted Spore Wardens from both, there's a reason they're on purples. It's a pain. Just get like 20 purple shields and enchant them up until they cost like 200, 500, and move on to the next one. You can't be picky. If you know how to do like save backups and stuff on PlayStation or PC or whatever, you can do that to help, of course. But I didn't. I didn't. So I just had to pick up loads of these guns. And what's great about this particular pistol is at the bottom there, crossbolts deal 5% increased damage for each crossbolt stuck in the target. That works quite well, and I'll explain why. Enchanted Spore Warden for 10 seconds after activating Barrage, all the time. Gun and ability damage, our Barrage and our gun, have a 25% chance to cause an explosion, dealing 30% of the damage dealt as poison damage to nearby enemies. This is Moses' short fuse. We're calling it Spore Fuse. I like the name. So it's going to double dip. The base damage of the explosion is the damage of the final damage of the shot that's done, and then it takes all on-hit bonuses again. So our goal here is to do on-hit bonuses, which is why this is a Spore Zerker build. Also, Zerker is just a lot of fun to play. So yeah, that's the goal there, and of course those crossbolts, they'll double dip with the enchant there. That 5% at the bottom, that's 25 per shot. That's a 25% global double dipping already, and that's before we've even gotten into the build. So that's the main gun that I use. Rain of Arrows is a lot of fun as well for stationary bosses. This is what I'm using for bosses currently, a ×3 crossbow Torgayer. Very, very, very good. What I do with this is I fire it down to the last shot on sticky mode. I fire my bow, then I start the sticky, then I fire my bow again, because it's only a 5-second duration, so I want to make sure all those stickies get the splash bonus there on that particular enchant. The Spore Fuse Anoint doesn't really work with Torgue stickies, so I've gone with the area damage one there. And of course, for bossing, you want to get the Spore Fuse enchant on a liquid cooling, and then if you really want, you can just use a Buffmeister, and then bossing. I don't want to use a Buffmeister, so my bossing's a little bit rough right now. It's not that bad with this Torgayer, but if you're not afraid of using the Buffmeister, just use it with a liquid cooling and the Spore Fuse Anoint, and bosses will just drop like flies. I've got the Pan, just because melee weapon doesn't really matter here. Pan just gives you a passive bonus while it's on your back. Action skill start, gun damage. Gun damage goes into both our Barrage and our guns. And my spell enchant is action skill start, damage dealt. So these are going to be active all the time. The damage dealt one double dips, so that's neat. Other spells you can use, basically anything you want. I like Quaking Sunder, but Glacial Cascade is just as good as well, if not better, especially on the cooldown front. Arcane Bolt's pretty good for this. Yeah, there's lots of spells. You can run Buffmeister if you want. That's gross though, I don't want to run Buffmeister, but you do you. Rings, gun damage, or ability damage doesn't particularly matter. Ability damage puts a bit more weighting into the bow itself, and gun damage is a bit more global overall. But yeah, I use gun damage for the bosses, but often I use ability damage just to put more emphasis into the bow. Amulet. I really want a full battery shield with the reload enchant, so I can use it with the Harbinger, which if you spam your bow, it just keeps refilling, and that still works with unarmored defense, by the way. I really want to do that. That'll be really fun, but I don't quite have the pieces yet. I need a better Harbinger, and I need a full battery with the enchant to reload equals barrage charge. But in terms of amulet, all damage dealt as a passive is what you're going to be hoping for. Ideally, two of them. If they can double roll, it just means the number gets bigger. And then in terms of the element, like poison or frost, works. Armor pieces. So what you're going to want to be focusing here is Spore Warden primary, Berserker secondary. It does work with Stabber. Stabber's got lots of on-hit bonuses, and it does work with Spell Shot. Spell Shot's got lots of gun damage. I tested them all, and I had the best results with Berserker for two reasons. Berserker has got a lot of on-hit multipliers, and basically every single skill we put into that tree is good. So there's lots of double dipping there. I would say Spore Shot. Spore Shot's got lots of gun damage, but there's no double dipping on that tree. So it didn't quite give us the leg up that I had hoped. And in terms of skills, you want as many into Wrath of Nature as possible, which is this one. It's like a little wooden plank being shot by arrows, and it looks very scared and terrified. So I've got two here, one with 3, one with 2. The one with 3's got poorer passives, the one with 2's got better passives. There isn't much difference in gameplay, so just go for, again, all damage dealt is the primary choice for passives, but gun damage, ability crit chance, ability crit damage, ability damage, gun crit damage if that's a thing. You know, just general, look at a passive, is it helping you? Yay or nay? But focusing on the Spore Warden as the top one over Berserker and the Wrath of Nature points there. And then moving into the build. Of course, we're going to be using Barrage. We want to go all in on our gun damage here. I believe this is fresh mult gun damage as well. I've got 3 points in Kindred Heart, and this is for tree progression. You can put them in Bounty of the Hunt. Going passive cooldown isn't a bad thing. The 2 in there is from my armor piece, by the way. I didn't actually put the points into that skill. You can tell because these numbers are kind of yellowy, and that number is kind of blue. Bluey white. So that's how you can tell that's being boosted by an armor piece. They could make that clearer, but they didn't. I've gone Kindred Heart just to help keep the mushroom alive so it can revive me. But you can go either or. If you go with passive cooldown, it just means you occasionally get like 2 bow shots. Which still helps, because it's still cooling down in the background, even with the charge refills. But I've tried to go Kindred Heart. Spore Cloud, no-brainer. Affinity, no-brainer. Quiver of Holding is very, very good. I like the skill a lot. The only caveat is if you try and use... Let me find it. If you try and use a Nightshade, because these things have a trail-off, like, as you get towards the end of the magazine, after you fire, like, 20 bullets, the fire rate really starts slowing down. So if you run Quiver of Holding and a Nightshade with this enchant, lots of fun, by the way, you just need to do the manual reloads before that happens. Medicinal Mushroom, no-brainer, it just picks you up, gives you a damage boost. Global damage as well, so double dipping. Ringed Winner, movement speed, want that. Fire rate's not doing much, but it helps if we want to do a boss melt with the Torg AR or the liquid cooling. Wrath of Nature, this is what makes this really good in multiplayer. Because we're spamming the bow does ricochets. Everything's going to be taking this increased damage. It even goes to 108% if you have 6, and that is just me. It just means everyone's doing more damage. It's from all sources, and bosses die very quickly in multiplayer. So if you're doing multiplayer, good build. And also if you're solo, it's fun build. Just fun build. I love this build so much. Wrath of Nature is a lot of damage. It's a global damage increase as well to everything, which means it's going to be applying twice to our Spore Fuse Anoint. And I've got Play the Angles just because we're in the area. You don't need this if you're strictly using the black powder, but if, say, you're using a liquid cooling or something, it can help and just be good. It's there because we're in the area, but there are technically 2 skill points that you could take out of Kindred Heart and Play the Angles that you could put in the Berserker tree. Speaking of the Berserker tree, Ancestral Frost. You could take Unyielding, but Ancestral Frost. The old ways, again, it's just global damage. Very, very good skill. I've gone with Instinct for the reload speed here, but I've been bouncing between Instinct and Icebreaker, and I think I prefer Icebreaker. Either works, it's up to you. I think I prefer Icebreaker, even though we're not fully freezing enemies, we're still getting that damage bonus, and it's 10% per point, so even if we're only getting a third of that, that's still value. Because, yeah, the reload speed's only 12%, although 24 actually, so that's a bit better, I guess. Yeah, this one's a toss-up between Instinct and Icebreaker. Then Unarmored Defense, just because it's great and just amazing. And then Cold Snap for the movement speed. And Frost Efficiency, which again helps Icebreaker if you spec it. And then Relentless Rage. If you've got 2 points from here, you can put it into Icebreaker or Instinct, depending on which way you go. Or even Ancient Fury, because that area damage is going to affect the Spore Fuse pop. And hero stats have just gone all strength, all dex, a bit of intelligence. You can go attunement if you want. You can go any split, just make sure you max out strength. So yeah, that's the build and setup. I've been playing this a lot on stream, and I get asked about it because it's just bow spam, bow spam, bow spam, and it's utterly fantastic, and who doesn't want to just go around spamming bows? It's the stealth archer build, only it's not stealth, it's the unstealth archer. So yeah, thank you very, very, very much for watching. Good luck with the enchants. Those 2 enchants is the main thing. If you can get those 2 enchants, build unlocked. And it's like, because you saw, I just had random purples equipped, and it's already a lot of fun. Chaos 20. It's a blast. So I hope you're able to put the build together and enjoy it as much as I am. Thank you very, very much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of the evening. Stay safe, stay awesome. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
You heroes make my blood boil! Ignorant is the obvious
Trick shot!
My brittle bones!
Time for a spell.
Don't understand! Am I dying again?